Most of us think about them as a propulsion tool, but they can slow us down even better than push us forward. Let me explain. Good Monday, Amphinauts and DPV enthusiasts. This is Marek Swoboda with Amphi Americas, and from this beautiful location in Tarpon Springs, Florida, I wanted to welcome you to our new episode of Whiteboard Mondays. Today we'll be talking about a very interesting subject which evolves around drag, but in this particular case we'll be talking about how much drag our fins actually provide. We think about our fins as a propulsion device. They give us this forward push if we need it or when we need it, but very little is understood about how much those fins slow us down when we don't kick, when we just relax and we allow our feet to be dragged and our fins to provide braking action instead of propulsion action. So let's talk about details. Before I explain how the fins slow us down, I wanted to talk a little bit about human anatomy, specifically about the angle between the shin and our foot. So normally when you try to maximize your so-called plantar flexion, which is flexing your ankle this way, you're gonna end up with some angle, and this angle is measured between the line which goes through your shin and the line which goes through your foot, right? So this is the angle. Let me show you this way. So the line which goes through your shin here and the line which goes through your foot. So this angle here, in most people this would be between 15 to 30 degrees. So that presents a problem with fin swimming. So when you try to streamline in the water, your leg is looking something like that. So you have your shin here, but your foot cannot be absolutely straight. In rare occasions, some people can do that, most of us cannot. So you will see that the foot is dropping. So what it creates a starting point, a baseline for your fin to cover a little bit of the water stream which goes this way. So your fin will be actually dragging, will be actually opposing your movement forward if you do nothing to it. Some fin manufacturers and designers try to mitigate this problem by breaking the fin around this point and turning the blade up. And this can compensate for this issue, but at least partially. But most fins, like very straightforward fins, they don't have this angle. They look like that. So if this is the case, we have a swimmer here, swimmer leg here, and the fin goes down. So what's the consequence of it? Well, if you have a surface area SA, and let's say this is our fin, surface area of our fin, and you have a stream of water which is hitting this surface area at a speed of V, and you have a density of fluid rho, and then you have the angle between this vector, the water which is moving here, and the fin here, which is alpha, this angle here. Then you can calculate the force which acts on the fin. And of course it's a simplification, because fins are not rigid. So when you expose them to a certain water flow, they will probably bend a little. But I wanted to show you the results of those calculations for two different angles and for different swim velocities which start from 1 knot and end at 5 knots, which covers a speed range we would like to have for diver propulsion vehicles. Of course, most diver propulsion vehicles move at speeds between 1 to 3 knots. But I just wanted to give you some additional context going up to 5 knots. So let's see how those drag forces look like for those different situations. Let's take a look. Here we have a table where here we have 2 different angles. So this is for a pretty flexible person which can straighten the angle up to 15 degrees, and this is for a person like myself, not that flexible, and this angle is 30 degrees. This is actually what we measured on my leg and Ginger's leg, my partner's leg. So first we have to establish the level. So this is pretty much 0 here, as you can see. Okay, flex your ankle. Okay, 0, and the ankle is, as you can see, well, almost 14.9, 15.4 degrees. All right, and here you have velocities in knots. So velocity 1 knot, 2 knots, 3 knots, 4 knots, and 5 knots. And here you have drag forces in pounds. So for each velocity we're considering 2 cases. For 15 degree angle, which is more flexible ankle, and 30 degree like that, which is less flexible ankle. And here are the drag forces for those situations. So let's take a look. 1 knot. This is the velocity which is very common for scuba divers. So when they fin swim, they can accelerate up to 1.5 knots maybe, and when they stop, then the fins will start braking, and the braking force per fin, this is per single fin, will be 0.23 pounds of braking force per fin. So almost half a pound will start braking immediately a person who has pretty flexible ankles and just stopped swimming, and the foot is dropping like we described before. For a person like myself, a scuba diver who is not that flexible in the ankles, this force will go up to 0.85 per fin, so it will be 1.7 pounds per 2 fins, 1.7 pounds right away braking. For 2 knots, which is, well, if you really put a lot of effort into your fin swimming, you can achieve this speed. In this case, a single fin will deliver 0.9 pounds of force. So you're looking at almost 2 pounds of braking force for a pretty flexible ankle, and almost 7 pounds of force for a person who is not that flexible. So 7 pounds of force, which would be comparable to a thrust force created by fins when you swim at an average speed. When we go to speeds of 3 knots, and that would be something resembling swimming with a DPV, then those forces grow to 2 pounds per fin, so 4 pounds per person. So 4 pounds of braking force for a flexible person, flexible ankles, and almost 15 plus pounds of braking force for a person who is not that flexible. And just let me finish up with 5 knots. That would be like ultra fast DPVs. I know of one which is that fast, at least on the civilian, talking about civilian market. So for 5 knots, we're looking at almost 12 pounds of braking force per person for flexible ankles, and staggering 40 plus pounds for a person who has 30 degrees flex between the shin and the foot. So these are the results, and of course in real life they will be a little bit different. I'm not trying to say they will be smaller, but they will be definitely different. So what makes them smaller is the fact that fins usually bend, but what may make them a little bit stronger is the fact that this is not a purely flat surface. It has certain devices attached to the edges, which may make this dragging force a little bit more than assumed in this simplification. So that's pretty much it, and I think I explain why I think that our fins are as good, if not better, in braking compared to propulsion action. I hope you liked this video. If so, give us a like. If you didn't, give us a thumb down. Please subscribe. Visit our Facebook page where our fans enjoy our discussions and materials we post there for our community. Visit our website where we explain how Amphi differs from other diver propulsion vehicles. And of course, see you next month.